Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn series. It is my honor to introduce Gay Lee. Gay Lee is actually, the first JNF speaker that I ever hosted as a parlor meeting at my house before I was even on the board with JNF. I was asked to host a parlor meeting, so we go way back. So I'm very glad that I could be the one to introduce you. Kaylee is a passionate advocate. She's been the JNF liaison to LOTEM, making Israel accessible, which empowers children and adults with special needs across Israel through education activities, nature, and outdoors. She has a BA in political science and journalism, a master's degree in international auditing, exclusive experience in the local newspaper editor, as well as an auditor of government authority and private companies. Um, she doesn't have on here, but her most the thing I know she likes talking the most about are her children. So very proud mama. And I'm sure we'll hear about them at some point through the presentation. Um, but I would like to turn it over to Gailey Schiff.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, all of you. These are not easy times in Israel. What started at October 7 has not ended. Israel is still fighting for a real fight for its existence on all its borders. And the war in Gaza is still going on when we still have our soldiers there and our hostages there. I thank you for this opportunity. I will share my screen right now and just say a few words before we start. Um, so, no. Okay. So I thank you for this opportunity to share with you the challenges in our work with population with disabilities and with dealing with different aspects of mental resilience in Israel of today. Representing LOTEM, like Mark said, we make Israel accessible. My organization has been operating in Israel for over 30 years in the field of accessibility and working with disabilities in Israel. I'll talk about our work in general, and then I'll expand about the work with the evacuees and the people that were hurt during the war in the aspects of mental resilience, which is the focus of the work that we do with them. So before I start, I want to show you a clip. This clip has the whole essence of what we do, because everything that I talked about till now, because it has families, a community of families that all have children with disabilities, and they are on a retreat with us. They are from the Gaza envelope. This is a community of the Eshkol region. They go with us every year, and of course now, last time we went with them before the war was just a month before the war, and then after the war we went with them twice or three times since. And this is the clip I want to show you to you, and then we'll talk more. Oh, wait a minute. Start it from the beginning.
For several years, we've been supporting the special families of Eshkol as part of our broader initiative to assist communities within local authorities. Last year, we went on a 3-day trip where everyone had a blast, sharing laughter and joy. Witnessing their happiness together was truly heartwarming. That was a month before October 7.
The worst terror attack in Israeli history.
Already start to hear grenades and shooting. I didn't think it was real, but it is. So I brought all my kids. We went with nothing and we escaped in one car.
All the families move out of their houses to very different places. hotels or rent a small house to live in.
Our whole community was evacuated.
אנחנו התפנינו לסבתא שלי לכמה חודשים.
It's hard to be so many days away from house. It's hard to be without the friends that you used to be with. It's hard to see your parents sad and confused.
Since October 7, our focus has shifted towards enhancing mental resilience, a pressing need, particularly among residents of the South, evacuees from the North, wounded soldiers, and anxiety victims.
We got together from all over the country to come here. Being together here, it's not for granted, really not for granted.
אנחנו פה בתחושה מאוד מאוד בטוחה, אהובה מאוד.
זה כזה הפסקה כזאת, רגע לעצור. כמו לנשום קצת אפילו חמצן. יש פה אווירה כל כך נעימה ושמחה והמדריכות נפלאות, ורגע להתנתק מכל הטלפון, מכל החדשות, ללכת לטבע ושקט.
Going out into nature is healing, and our approach involves immersive nature experience coupled with tailored support.
אתמול ערב של שירה בציבור, פעילויות יצירה לילדים, היום אנחנו במשחקי עבוד איתי. סוג של תרפיה. כן, זה תרפיה.
זה ממש כיף לי להעביר סדנאות כאלה שאני מרגישה שאני כמו אוויר לנשימה. ממש רואים את החיבור של כולם, וזה שמח לראות את זה.
מה אתם רוצים להגיד על החופש? הכרנו חברים.
בבית אנחנו לא מוצאים אפילו זמן לשתות קפה, כאילו... כשמישהו מארגן עבורך את הטיול הזה, זה אומר שמישהו מכיר את הצרכים שלך.
And also for me, if I'm speaking with another parent, I can learn from him something and they can from our experiment.
אנחנו חושבים בו ממש על כל פרט. אנחנו מלווים בצוות מדהים, מדריכות מעולות.
עם הרבה פעילויות שמותאמות לילדים שלנו. אנחנו ממש מוכירים את זה, השנה במיוחד.
Alongside the resilience activity, there is a need today to increase the accessibility of the outdoors. There are many injured people who face mobility difficulties due to their injuries. LOTEM makes Israel accessible for them, as always, ensuring that no one is left behind.
My daughter, she didn't understand anything that happened, she still doesn't. But seeing her going out in nature, really happy and loose and playing with friends, it's just joy.
יש מישהו שדואג לנו, ושאומר לנו, רגע, עכשיו תעצרו, זה בשבילכם. זה משהו שלא קורה לנו ביום שלנו.
We choose life, love and family.
When we talk about LOTEM, we talk about eventually children, people like this child in the picture. Her name is Noah, and in this picture she's 4 years old. She was born after a very difficult pregnancy of twins. Her mother, Noah's mother, felt not so well and understood that there was a problem. When she got to the hospital, they understood that it's serious. She was admitted for almost 2 months, and finally, at the end of her 6-month pregnancy, Noah, this child, was born at 700 grams, which is less than 1.5 pounds. She had different difficulties, including bleeding in her brain, bleeding in her eyes, chronic lung disease called BPD. She went through open heart surgery, a lot of difficulties when her twin sister had passed at birth, and Noah grew up with development late, and until she was 3 years old, she was considered 100% disabled. When we talk about LOTEM, we talk about children like Noah who are born with different challenges and still have the right to have a good and happy life. And this is the why. Because 1 out of 13 children in Israel is born with disabilities, which means that 1 of 13 children can't walk or see or hear or has a cognitive or sensory disability. Every child with disability all children with disabilities have one thing in common that is common to all of us, and that is that they all want to live a happy life with happiness and meaningful, and that's the mission of LOTEM. LOTEM takes pride of working with people from all different religion and ethnicities in Israel, all of them with different kinds of disabilities on all levels of functioning and at all ages. And how do we do that? So first of all, we work with the Ministry of Education, and every year we take over 40,000 children, on school trips from their school. We make places more accessible so we can go out those places. Here is Raz, which many of you already know. He's a guide for LOTEM, and here he is in Nachal HaShofet, which is the national park, the first national park that has become accessible that we made. This is the first project that we ever made with JNF. Over 1 million people visit Nachal HaShofet every year. If there is a beautiful place in Israel, a place that you have to come to see, that's Emek HaShalom. Emek HaShalom, this picture was taken on February, which everything is very green. Right now, everything is kind of yellow, but it's still very beautiful. This is an educational center, the only outdoor educational center that is fully accessible in Israel. At Emek HaShalom, the children come. We have 15,000 visitors a year. We have a sensory trail, the first sensory trail that was built for therapy purposes in Israel. Ecological pond where you can see the bird and watch all different animals, make pitot, and eat the pitot with olive oil that we make at Emek HaShalom, or chocolate that we buy at the store, and have like different kind of workshops, all of them natural, all of them hands-on workshops that are good for children and people with all the kinds and all levels of functioning. At Emek HaShalom, we focus on multi-layer accessibility. This is something that until 2 years ago, no one heard about it in Israel, which means that accessibility is not only an elevator or ramp, it is also cognitive accessibility, emotional accessibility that takes part and takes attention to the cognitive and the emotionally state of people. That's why, because of this expertise, when it comes to museums, heritage sites, or places that have to convey information, LOTEM is the one that does it. And this is a good example of a project that we did for making museums in Israel accessible for people with visual impairment.
The project is designed to enable people with visual impairment to participate in cultural activities and to consume culture like everyone and together with everyone.
Opportunity to understand what was the past, the present, and the future. It's so good for us. We can go out and to visit all kinds of museums. It's wonderful, and really thank you.
Gives me a chance to know more about things that I'm really interested in. Thank you very much, and I hope it will be everywhere.
Every year, we train 6,000 professional people that work for the government or local municipalities in accessibility training in Israel. And during COVID, when children were out of school and everything was locked down, we raised $200,000 in a project called Computer for Every Child. And we gave them computers and tablets. They all got them to their homes with the software that their specific school required. And when there was a lockdown in Israel and we couldn't get there, then I used some personal connections and we got the police, Israeli police, to take the computers and give them to the children in their homes. For the last 14 years, we've been running an Israel project called Mother Nature and Art Therapy. We work in the shelters of women that went through domestic violence and their children. We work in 13 shelters a year. This is the only therapeutic group therapy that they get in the shelters. It's all funded by Women for Israel from JNF, and I'll show you a little example of what we do there.
For me, I can define art is the way to express yourself and to express your feeling and to find a place that is safe for you.
לא חשבתי שאומנות קשורה לחיים שלי, ונכנסנו למוזיאון שכולו אומנות. ובבת אחת, כאילו, אני הייתי ככה. זה הזכיר לי, אני יצאתי משם ואמרתי להם, נזכרתי מי זאת אני. תנו לי את זה.
אני אוהבת את השקט.
זה איכשהו מרגיע אותי, זה רגע של שקט, של נחת. לשכוח מהכל רגע ולשים כאילו את עצמי, את יודעת, לשים דגש על עצמי קצת, שגם אני פה.
זה לא סתם לשבת ככה ולדבר, זה יותר את יושבת, עושה משהו.
It gives me peace of mind, because it's just like you're doing something so simple, but you have peace inside.
את הצהוב זה נותן לי כאילו אור, לצאת מהחושך לאור.
The experience of coming here, it reminded me of home because it's full of nature. I really felt like home.
It's something not like routine, you know. Here is greatest place from long time.
את לא צריכה להיות אומנית, ממש לא. את לא צריכה להיות מחוברת לאומנות. אבל מה שלוטם בעצם נותן זה היכולת לבטא את עצמנו בכל מיני חומרים, בכל מיני סגנונות שונים.
לפעמים קשה לי לדבר, להציע אותה מה שאני מרגישה בפנים. ואז אני מציעה אותה בציור.
I start to understand what I like, what I love, who I am. I start to love myself more.
יש דברים שבמילים אי אפשר לגמרי להוציא, והאומנות הוציאה אותם. ובעיניי זה כאילו מתנה.
And then came October 7. This handsome guy that you're seeing here is my husband. He's also a brigadier general in the Israeli police. And at times of war, he is in charge of all identification of all the casualties. And this is exactly what him and his team were in charge of on October 7, the identification of all the people who were murdered that day. And you all know what kind of, can imagine what kind of process it was. I can tell you that this process was partially over only a few months ago with the last person identified, and still is going on with different findings and different studies that are being done on this relative. And he's also in charge when, you know, the last war in Iran, all the identification of all the casualties. And sometimes when I think about what we do, when we treat people with emotional stress, then I can definitely include him and include his team and include so many other people that are now joining the circle of people who were affected emotionally by this war. If you look at our change, we have shifted everything that we do towards mental resilience. It doesn't mean that we stop doing what we usually do at LOTEM. We still continue with everything we do, but we added another layer of mental resilience. If you look at 2023 versus 2024, division of topics, then you can see that the mental resilience part that used to be about 15% of what we do is now reached almost and 50% of what we do. And these are the four key topics that we are focused on when we talk about mental resilience. So at the beginning of the war, we went down to the south, working in 22 hotels for 4 months with our staff, people evacuated from the north and from the south. We worked there for 4 months and we treated 10,000 children, 5,000 of them with disabilities. Over 7,000 evacuees have gone to Emek HaShalom at the first year after the war. Children and adults came to Emek HaShalom. Communities, kibbutzim, all came to Emek HaShalom to restart themselves, to breathe, to feel a little bit of resilience, a little bit of peace. And after time, they came time after time. And since then, we have a lot of new connections with different municipalities and communities that want us to work with them. Healing in Nature is the project that started also after, it started before October 7 with people with disabilities, but like you saw at the movie that I showed in the beginning, we started working with communities and people who were affected by October 7, taking them to retreats where they go through yoga, meditation, group therapy. They go through parenting workshops and different sessions. They get some air, and we take women, we take mothers, we take fathers, we take people who are in combat, and people from different communities as well. And then there is moving forward. We started moving forward, working with soldiers that were physically injured and also have PTSD. We started that before the war, but after October 7, we had to change the original plan. What was supposed to be a ongoing process with an organic group has become into retreats with mass participants, all of them soldiers that were all wounded in combat. And some of them are women also. They go on to our retreats of 2 or 3 days. We took on the first year 670 soldiers, and this year we will reach 1,000 soldiers. Those soldiers come on with different needs, and we see them and we learn their needs. And we opened up 2 programs that are a direct result of what we did with the soldiers. The first of one of them is Friends for Life. As you can see in the pictures, many of the soldiers have dogs, service dogs or support dogs. So we do a program for support dogs to train soldiers that have dogs that are not service dogs to be support dogs. That's the first one of them. The second one is Warriors on a Journey, which is horseback riding therapeutic journeys for combat soldiers that were injured. And we took also bereaved brothers that lost their siblings at the Nova Festival. And it's very, very highly demanded. It's very therapeutic, very helping them, and they enjoy going there. We also have different retreats that are for soldiers that are physical wounded on a higher level, that need higher level of accessibility. These are the needs of the 4 programs that we are running. Last year, we had only for the group, for the moving forward, we had raised over $600,000 only for that program. And we need your help so we can continue this work. And before I finish, I would like to go back to Noah, the girl that I showed you in the beginning. So here she is with her 3 younger sisters who love her very much. Noah herself has grown to be a beautiful, talented, smart young woman. And I, as her mother, am very, very proud of her. Thank you so much for having me and hearing what we're doing in LOTEM. If there are any questions, I'm